Welcome to Mahala Monday. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Great to have you with us. My name is Dougal. Yes, Rhoda.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. We back, Dougal. We back.
We certainly are.
I missed you. That's all I can say. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is very good to be back. Good to have you along with us as well. We had a bit of a haters, all Rhoda's fault, but be that as it may, we are here. So, to make sure she doesn't make more mistakes, what I need you to do is definitely subscribe. That is what you got to do. Subscribe and like and share. All of that.
Exactly.
Do all of that.
And join this conversation and send through your comments. I mean, you're welcome. You're free. So please don't be shy. Send in those comments.
Yeah. Interactive show, of course. So basically, in a nutshell, just to tell you exactly what it is we do. Interactive show, and what we simply do is we bring you amazing guests to assist you, whether it's in the education field, financial field, if it's entrepreneurs, social well-being, but definitely people who make a meaningful impact in a society. So we bring you all of that, their views, their opinions, and all of that. And we get the conversation going and moving forward together. That is what we do best. So you've got to get involved with it. If you've got a question or comment, definitely we'll pose it to the guest during the broadcast. Of course, the details we'll have for you at the bottom of the screen, which is there. And then also, more importantly, that is what we'll do. And we look forward to all of that. Yes.
That is so.
All right. So before we go any further, I must point out to you, because initially I was told, look at this camera. Then I was like, no, go to that one, which I have been doing. But I think I'm now in the right one. Yeah.
The right camera.
Now in the right one. Yeah. All right. We got many of them.
That's so true. So don't look at the light, Dougal. Continue looking at the camera.
Yeah, I must look at the light. Yeah. So you excited about tonight?
Yes, I'm extremely excited tonight because it's one of the topics obviously that you know that I love, and that is business. And you know, the way forward for entrepreneurs, people that starting their businesses, just, you know, somebody that can hold your hand and assist you, because business, for me, the entrepreneurs is basically what makes our foundation of our country. If we don't have entrepreneurs, we don't have businesses, then you know what? We don't have a country.
Yeah. And Rhoda's not saying that because she's running for elections or anything. She's just because
elections is coming.
It's one of the days. It's just that is what is going to happen.
Exactly. Can I introduce our guest, Dougal?
Please go ahead.
So she's been on the show before. It's one of our favorite people, I can say, that we simply love and adore. And guess what? Our guest holds a Doctor of Business in Leadership. She's a business well-being advisor, a facilitator, a speaker, and a coach. And that is Dr. Kerryn Powell. I mean, who else can we ask on the show but her? Welcome, Kerryn. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the invitation again. And it's great to be with you this evening. And I look forward to our discussion, as I always do. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, brilliant to have you with us, Kerryn. Thank you so much for coming on. And as Rhoda said, let's start off here, because you now finally received the doctor title. How does it feel?
Thank you. So first of all, I feel relieved. Obviously. A few months since I graduated. I graduated in October, and when I get called a doctor, I often laugh because it still hasn't sunk in. But the word I'd like to use to describe how I feel is gratitude. You know, it was a very long and tough journey for me, and but in the end, I met such amazing people, and I continue to meet amazing people. And I'm a stronger, more confident and wiser person as a result. And I always remember when we started the journey, one of the professors said to us, yes, you're gonna do some amazing research, but the biggest thing is who you become as a result of the journey. And I understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Wow.
That it is gratitude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That is significantly profound, if I must say so myself. That does sound really, really fantastic. But as Rhoda alluded to, it is really a great thrill and a privilege and pleasure to have you on with us, because yes, you are a friend of the show. You've been on before, and we've spoken about exactly what it is that you do effect consulting does in terms of helping people, so and organizations to be it. But we just want to tell you as well, if you got a comment or a question, Kerryn is with us now. Dr. Kerryn Powell is with us right now. Send those questions and comments through. So that is basically what you got to do. But before I carry on, I just want to do this comment here quickly from Hubert Paul, who says, welcome back. Best wishes on your return there to everybody. Thank you very much, Hubert, as well. But before we go on, Kerryn, and talk about that what exactly it is, I think it is quite prudent that we just remind people what it is that you actually researched and why you did it.
Okay, so let's start with the why, just to keep Simon Sinek happy, because he always tells us to consider the why behind anything that we do. So I grew up and have lived in rural areas all my life, and I've seen Ubuntu in practice at community level. And you know, as I grew up and I matured and I started to study and have an interest in business, I was curious about how this community philosophy of Ubuntu would translate into a business environment where there are results that are expected, goals that need to be achieved, and creating value, sustainable value, is really, really important. So how could this concept that is so wonderful in Africa, and we are known for this as Africans and South Africans, how could that translate into organizational leadership behaviors that would help to build sustainable businesses? So that was the why, the curiosity behind it. So in terms of the what I actually studied is I looked at Ubuntu in an organizational leadership context.
Okay.
So I wanted to see what kind of behaviors would a leader need to portray to be seen as an Ubuntu leader, and what they would need to do to actually encourage those positive behaviors from their team members.
Okay.
So what I actually did in terms of the model I created, I asked leaders in business what they thought it was. There were 3 focus groups that I ran. I used that to develop a model. I had 22 behavioral items, and then we tested that on a large sample of public and private sector employees. We had a sample of over 2,000.
Wow.
And based on the results of that and a whole lot of really funky statistical processes, we came down to 10 items that are really helpful in guiding a leader who wants to portray Ubuntu leadership, what kind of behaviors they need to display. And the thing is as well is that my research also showed, as part of the validation process, is that it does translate to positive organizational behaviors, which is what you want your team to change as well as a result of how you lead.
Okay.
So that is what I did, yeah.
Let me ask you this, because the concept of Ubuntu, if I could just separate it in terms of organizational and the business leadership context, but the concept of Ubuntu is something that is inherently in us. So, I mean, the rest of the world and the whole planet actually remark on this thing in South Africa, which is Ubuntu, it's I am, because we are the whole sense of community. With the start of your research, when you do this, are people saying like, how this is not defined, you can't define it within an organization? Did you actually have that?
I did get a lot of that. I got a lot of pushback, and people questioning it and saying it's too airy-fairy, it's a philosophy, you can't bring it down. But at the end of the day, it's actually a really good question, Dougal, because what my professor and I did is that we had a very robust and structured process to make sure that we were able to bring it down to definable behaviors. So we did do that, and I did get a lot of that all the way along the journey. All the way along.
And the reason I'm asking you this is because I would assume as South Africans we have Ubuntu, but we struggle to identify it at times because it is part of us. And then because a part of us that we don't really think of it as business leaders or entrepreneurs, that we don't necessarily take the thing that is really part of us to that sphere of business.
Exactly.
So you were talking about...
And with any leadership, guys, the context matters.
It does.
So the context of where you're leading, it needs to be taken into consideration within the leadership style that you are portraying. So for example, if you're leading in a church, it's going to be different to when you're leading in a business.
So true.
There will be slight nuances because you are leading in a different environment. Also, if you're leading in a public sector space compared to a private sector space, the leadership will be slightly different as well because the context is different. If you're leading in Europe, it's different to leading in South Africa. If you're leading in America, it's different to leading in Japan.
Exactly.
Context matters. Culture matters.
Exactly.
So it's important to remember that.
Yeah, and I'm just touching on that in my business as well, Kerryn, is what I have found is, we take a lot of photos at different facilities, education facilities, basically a lot of places where there's a lot of leaders. And obviously, with taking these photos and going through to these different facilities, you know what had basically stood out at most of these facilities was leadership and how important leadership is. If the change needed to happen within a school or a facility that was really run down, the area was run down, the leader within the facility made a massive difference as a leader. So I think that exactly is what I've experienced in the photography, on the fact that seeing these facilities and having to look at these leaders making a difference, because it's no use you put somebody in a position and say, yeah, now you're going to be running this, but you've got low leadership skills. So me personally, I think we should send everybody to you, and all leaders must first go through a consultation with you to actually put them in their place to say, this is what it's all about.
But this is
and Rhoda, actually on the back of your comment, it's a lifelong journey. You never quite arrive as a leader, because that's what working with people.
Yeah.
So true.
It never ends.
It never ends.
And we all on this together, learning from one another and growing together. So
true.
Kerryn, I know you touched on this, but I want to ask you, because when it comes to within the business leadership context, and you're trying to, or you did as part of your research, look at Ubuntu. Why exactly? And I know this is a broad question. I know you've sort of touched on it, but why did you do it?
So I grew up on a farm, Gilt. I grew up. I was a tomboy. I've grown up in rural areas, and I just, as I grew up, I could see it. I could see it at community level. And as I started to be educated, and I went to university, and I did my MBL degree, I started to ask myself, how is this behavior going to translate into the harder business kind of environment? Because it is so it is soft at community level. The guys sitting around talking and consulting and talking. But in a business environment, we don't have the luxury of talking forever.
So true.
We've got to hold each other accountable. We've got to achieve results. So that's why I wanted to look at it, just to see how it would translate into that kind of an environment.
Beautiful. So we've got Werner there, Werner Kuhn. Hi there, Werner. And he says, Kerryn, what a legend. He's got these exclamation marks. Her passion and dedication to enable and mentor individuals and business to elevate to new heights are just remarkable. So there you go. The proof is in the pudding.
Thank you, Werner.
Thank you, Werner.
Thank you, Werner. Shout out to Werner.
Shout out to Werner there.
It's a great endorsement. Thank you. So quickly, just to go back, how long has this journey been for you? Because even you were saying when you were busy with your M, clearly the bells went off. The flags were there that you certainly knew were going to go on. How long was this journey for you before? Because I definitely want to ask you about the lessons learned, because that is going to get us to the meat of it. But how long was this journey?
Okay, so from the beginning to the end was 5 years, Diggle.
What?
How?
Wow.
So because I did a mixed method study, so I had to do a quantitative part and then a qualitative part and then a quantitative part. Yeah, so it was 5 years, and during that time my business took off.
Oh,
So
my word.
it was pretty tough balancing everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Kerryn, and the lessons that you've learned in this?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask me that question. So there's lots and lots of lessons.
All
But
right.
there were four lessons that I just wanted to share with you. The first one is the value of systems thinking. You know, having a wider perspective, realizing that you're not an island, you are part of a bigger picture, and everything is connected.
Oh, wow.
So in a business context, to always remember the impact of the decisions that you are making and the behaviors that you are displaying, it's going to have an impact on your customers, on your suppliers, on your employees, on the environment, even on your community where you live and you operate, as well as on your shareholders. So it's just remembering that, not taking that selfish view that it's me, myself, and I, looking at yourself as part of it and your business as part of a wider system. So that was the one lesson for me. It was opening my mind in terms of systems thinking. The second one is perseverance. You know that saying that you only eat an elephant one bite at a time?
Yeah.
So that's that one. And there's always a solution. When you do something like this, your journey is like up and down, up and down, up and down. And I realized that I couldn't give up. I had to keep looking for solutions, to think wider, to think alternative, what else, how else, where else, because I'm naturally a linear thinker in terms of my personality. So it really challenged my thinking in that way. And just to realize there's always a way. Never give up. There's always a way to figure it out. The third lesson was the value of commitment. You know, when you put down a big, hairy, audacious goal like this that you are aiming at and you're committed to it, I realize now that I look back, it was longer than I thought, and it was a hell of a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I learned to lighten up, because the joy is actually in the journey. It's not in the destination. You know, you always imagine yourself wearing the red gown at the end. But if you only focus on that, you lose the value of the journey and the process in terms of getting there.
Yeah.
And then the fourth lesson, Dougal, that I want to share that was very impactful for me was learning to deal with criticism.
Oh, wow.
Anyone who's listening in today, who's been part of the academic journey, it's tough. Sometimes you get really heavily critiqued, and just learning to deal with the criticism, learning not to take it personally, to respond and not react to a critique that comes your way, to define and justify why are you doing it, and realizing that I've got an opinion and I can say what I think. It's okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay to share your opinion and what you think. And then also the other thing about dealing with criticism is that true confidence and success is never loud. The ones that are loud about what they've achieved and what they've done and where they've gone in life, they're the ones that actually are not really that confident. So if you are quieter and you keep it to yourself, true confidence is actually not the loud, and true success, that people are not loud when they get to that level. And I learned that as well.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That just to on what you've said now, that is an incredible life journey. We got a comment here from Hubert quickly that I want to share with you. He says he loves this quote: "Leadership is not about titles, positions, or flow charts. It's about one life influencing another."
Wow, well done.
And
Well said.
on the back of that comment, and thank you, Hubert, for that, and exactly to what you've said. I mean, you speak about commitment, the perseverance, and a can-do attitude, and just doing that, and obviously your personal journey in doing all of this, and speaking so openly about when people criticize, because I suppose that's not part of you. You don't think that, you don't, and just not losing focus of the red gown, but to actually value and enjoy the journey that you are on, because it's I suppose it's so eye-opening. That is incredibly profound. And now when you look back at it, you would obviously do it all over again.
I'd probably have a nice long holiday first.
Just gonna say exactly.
It's taken me a little bit of time to bounce back, I must say.
Shame, Kerryn.
But you know, Dougal, I just want to pick up on that criticism story as well. The critique is actually part of the journey in terms of wanting to become a doctor.
There we go.
So again, if you're wanting to achieve a big goal like that and put yourself out there, embrace criticism, because that's how you get better. That's how you learn and grow. And I think us as people, we don't like to be criticized. We don't like to be pulled up or held accountable. But actually, it's important, because that's where you grow.
Exactly.
That's where you realize where your blind spots are, and you can show up and do better. So yeah, that's just the one comment I wanted to make.
Beautiful, beautiful. So just on that, obviously all this research, and I mean the amount of, saying 5 years, just hearing you saying that, wow, that is like raising a little kid up into a toddler basically, ages 5 years. What was the outcome of your research then? What was the outcome?
Okay, so as I shared earlier, I did develop a valid and reliable instrument measuring Ubuntu leadership in an organizational context. So it is real. It can be measured. It is a thing. Ubuntu leadership is a thing in a business context. That's the one thing. It's not a selfish phenomenon. It's outward focused, which we all know. Okay, it's outward focused, and my research showed some similarities with what other academics have spoken of. There's been a lot of research papers about Ubuntu, but nothing like I had done. So it aligned with a lot of what they were saying, like compassionate behaviors, empathetic behaviors, treating people with dignity and respect, having values, being aligned with values and values-based behaviors, being relational, and then also being participatory and togetherness, the teamwork aspect. That came through, but that aligned with what other researchers were saying. But my conceptualization was unique in that it also spoke about responsibility, accountability, performance in a business context. And if you think about it, that is so important for results, is to hold one another accountable. So it was all about achieving results through collaboration, through transparency, and through being accountable to one another. And then the other angle that was quite unique was the fact that as leaders, we've got to provide an enabling environment for our teams to succeed. And I remember the one participant, she spoke about if the business leader or owner doesn't pay for the electricity bill. This is a crazy idea, because we're dealing with electricity problems all the time.
Yeah.
But if they didn't pay for the electricity bill, we can't do our work.
Yeah.
If they don't pay for the rent of the office, we can't show up and do our work. So it's about creating an enabling work environment for your people to survive. So if you think about it in business, what structures have you got in place to make sure your team can show up and do their best work?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that also came through quite strongly.
So let me ask you this, because people, entrepreneurs, people are running organizations, they watching this now and they're going, okay, wait a minute, let's put this to the test. What kind of question would you have asked within your research?
Okay, so I'll give you an example of the 10 items that were validated. The first one was my leader shares knowledge and skills to promote growth and development in our team. So the leader has a teaching type of approach, sharing what they've learned, sharing what they know. So that was one of the items, Dougal. And I'll share another one, which was quite nice. My leader likes to celebrate wins together. So actually stopping and saying, gosh, well done, good job, let's celebrate. and then a third one is that my leader expects transparency within the team. So not hiding things, it's openness.
Oh, wow.
Let's be accountable to one another.
Okay, and then the respondents would now answer
So those
this
are three
by
of the items.
yeah, they'll either agree with this from a very high level or disagree to a very high level. That's where you would respond somewhere there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to now think I would respond.
How would you?
I'm really trying to think. I'm trying to think. And that, of course, gives you a certain outcome. That gives you, after the research was there, it gives you an outcome. And what does it say after you did it? Are you optimistic?
So I was. Yes, I was, and it actually is a lot of it aligned with what a lot of people say it should be. Because if you think about it, in business, I am because we are.
Yeah.
We must work together to take the business forward. We must grow together. We must be accountable to one another. We must accept one another, be compassionate, learn about each other, but also achieve results. Do what we say we're going to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know somebody's going to ask me this, so let me just ask you this, because in your samples that when you spoke to business leaders, you had obviously public sector as well. Yeah, and I know you said it was more than 2,000. So there was from the public, there was one as from the private sector. This was different. I'm only asking you this because I know somebody's going to ask, so I'm going to do it. Could you tell at the end, once you've done it, which was, or by assumption or by some conclusion that you could formulate, that you could tell the difference between the context, because earlier you highlighted how important the context is of business or whether it is, you could tell whether that was people or organization operating within this public space, private space, you could tell that by the responses?
Yes, we actually could, and part of the validation process was to make sure, it was to look at how the public sector respondents answered the question versus the private sector respondents, and to see whether, how different it was.
Yeah.
And actually they see it the same.
Oh, wow.
Is it? Wow.
Which was part of the validation process, yeah.
Is that good or bad?
That's a good way to go.
No, purely the fact, if they see it that way, then
It's supposed
that would be okay. That would be good.
Yeah, I would be good. It would be good. Dougal, I think as human beings, we all expect the same thing.
Yeah.
We all want to feel like we belong and that we're moving forward and we're achieving something.
That's so true.
No matter what work context you work in. So, yeah.
So the question I think is very important right now, because obviously we're looking at the future, we're looking at business people in the future. Your application, how is your application, your research for business owners and managers in 2024 and beyond? How is this applicable?
Okay, so yeah, it's important to think of the practical application of this.
Yeah.
And I think I've also thought about this, and the first thing that's I believe why it's important is the value of systems thinking, value of holistic thinking, sorry, before I actually get that, I'll get to that at the end. But I think we are facing change, disruption, technological change every single day. There's so much change flying at us all the time. And we've got to keep up with it, of course, within our sphere of influence in our businesses. We've got to pay attention to what's happening. But we cannot lose sight of the fact that the real difference maker is humans and the magic we can create when we work together. So that is something that I think is really important for us going forward, is to remember that the difference maker is what we can achieve together as human beings when we work together. We trust one another and we challenge one another. That was the one point I wanted to make. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then guys, if there is Ubuntu in a team, so these behaviors that I was able to validate and the leaders portraying that, what will actually happen is it will encourage an environment of innovation, of agility, of performance, and also the most important is that safe space, that space that's defined as psychologically safe. We team members can be together and they can challenge one another, or they can put up their hands and say, listen, I don't know what's going on here, or I don't agree with that. And I see it over and over and over again with the clients that I work with. They're too scared to say something for fear of recrimination. And if that's the case, you are defeating the whole object of innovation, out of the box thinking, and agility. Your team needs to feel safe to be able to voice their opinions. And Ubuntu style leadership encourages that safety to help your team to be more innovative and agile.
Wow.
But guys, having said that, I alluded to it earlier, there needs to be regulation. There needs to be structure. There needs to be clear expectations and accountability. Because if that's the case, and you have the safe space where people feel comfortable to talk, there's empathy, there's compassion, but there's also clear expectations. There's also a couple in the team, and then you've got that beautiful thing called trust. You know, you will develop trust in the team, and then they start to self-manage and solve problems together and come up with solutions together as a team.
Yeah, just listening to you now.
So that was my
Sorry, and I'm just touching on something. What happens if you actually have a business owner, because you've got a lot of business owners that still feel like I'm the boss, do what I say, that they don't give that option of, and you see this within your consultation. Do you then do a personal consultation, or you then basically put it on the table and say, this is the problem, and try and sort it out with the business owner?
That's a very good question, Rhoda. I have learned that you can't just waltz into somebody's life or business and tell them what they should and shouldn't be doing, because it doesn't go down very well. You've got to earn trust yourself. So I've got to earn trust, and I'm glad you brought this up. I use a really cool profiling tool called R3 profiling.
Yeah.
And it's my secret weapon, because when I meet with the business leader and I take them through their profile, immediately there's connection and they feel trust, and I start to see what the problem is.
Yeah.
So I spend a long time trying to understand where the team is at. I've got a nice triangle that I use. It's financial leader team. And within that sphere, the problems lie there. It's that systems thinking I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I take quite a bit of time to diagnose where it is, and the client is also buying into that process. And then they say, okay, yes. And then we start to work on that. We prioritize areas, and then we start to actually work on it as a result. So yeah, I don't the candor, what you're talking about, being honest and open, comes when there's relationship, when there's trust. Because if you're candid in a relationship and you don't care, it doesn't fly. You've got to have built that care, that relationship where there's care as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. It sounds exciting. It really does. Hubert's got a comment who says, how do you become the leader you would follow?
Oh wow.
Question he's got. I should say. Yeah.
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And Danelle says, welcome back, Mahala Monday team. This is the perfect start, an amazing episode. Thank you very much for that as well. Danelle, yeah, what Hubert is alluding to is like, you should be, as a business leader, you should be that person you would want to follow in terms within the context, which is basically what you were saying. So that is it. So how do businesses get in touch? How do organizations get in touch with you?
Okay, so one thing I just want to quickly say before you go there the other thing I want everybody to remember after today's session is the systems thinking again. I just want to bring it up to the fore again, because by looking at things holistically, you start to see patterns and trends, and you start to see what is working and what is not working. instead of just going down the linear path and doing the same old, same old, same old. So that is another thing I want business leaders to realize, is that it's so important to step back and look at your business as a system, and as a system that sits within a wider system, and to see where the possible challenges could be, and then you pinpoint the problem. And sometimes in a business, it's the smallest change or adjustment that gives you the biggest impact. You might just be, in terms of people, you might have one of your key employees doing something that they're really not good at, and just moving them into an environment or space where they are, it suits them and they are doing well, will make the biggest difference in your team.
Oh,
so
wow.
sometimes you just need to make a small change that's going to have a big impact. It's that Pareto principle, small change, big impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
That 2080 rule. And then the other thing with systems thinking, Dougal, is the paying it forward, realizing you're not an island in a team. The work you do, somebody else is relying on. So make sure you show up and you do your best work so that they can pick up the ball and carry on.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was just another point I wanted to make before we get to your question. Sorry.
Yeah, and also I like what you said, because as soon as you do your best work, there's a level of accountability. Like, once let's say you need to go from 1 to 10. So by the time I hand over the ball to her, this is the best the ball could possibly be. So there's a level of accountability that I have on whoever's taking the ball from 2 to 3. Although I was just the guy at 1, and likewise with 2 and 3, and that's that whole sort of unity that team sense, and that is really what Ubuntu is about. So it is important. I'm just fascinated that so long, and we've had this concept, and we've always had it, and it's been definable for so long. And I'm just glad that somebody has put it into works and really pushed it as you have,
especially
and
in
actually
business.
done the research on it, because that would be telling. That would be telling in itself. But I wanted to ask you, back to the question, how do people get in touch with you? Because I am sure your phone is now going to be off the hook. As people are trying to get hold of you.
Fabulous if that was the case.
You're going to be very busy.
So as you said, my company, my company's name is Affect Consulting, with AFFECT.
Yes.
And that affect means to influence or impact. So you can look up my website. I am on LinkedIn, and I'm also on Facebook personally, and the business is on LinkedIn and Facebook.
As easy as that.
And my numbers are freely available out there. So
as well.
Yeah. Now that is how, and we got your details here on the screen as well, so people will be able to view it there as it comes in, and which is absolutely fantastic for everybody. But I'm just amazed at what you're going to discover, because within this process, obviously, before I carry on, let me actually say this, because there is a bit of proof in pudding, because something I know. So the business assessment that you do when you sit down with the organization, you assess them and you help and guide. Rhoda did that.
Yeah, that
she
was
actually did
IT3.
this.
That's right. It was an experience. It was life-changing.
Was it?
It was life-changing.
I'm too scared to ask to share, but I'm going to.
As a business owner, it was life-changing. And I mean, I can also vouch, Kerryn is the best in the business. And you know what? We just felt comfortable. The team was comfortable. And we came out with so much information and coming to realize how different we are. And you know what? Everybody, you need to sit by a PC. You need to go out. You need to go see people. So just that realization was massive for our business. It made a massive change.
So this is not something that just you did, the team.
Team, everybody.
Okay.
We sat down, Kerryn was there, she was chatting to us, and we just put our input, and yeah, it was beautiful. It was life-changing, definitely.
Thank
so the proof is in the pudding, guys. The proof is in the pudding. So a quick one. I know, Kerryn, just like we basically had this time, you are giving away a free leadership coaching session. Am I correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Beautiful.
And I would like to put your hat in the ring. What you need to do is to please connect with me. Send me a a message on LinkedIn if we're not connected. And if we are connected, just send me a message and then just say that Mahala Monday, Effect Consulting 2024, and then what your key takeaway from the show is. So you've got to do a bit of work. Okay. So send me a message on LinkedIn, Mahala Monday, Effect Consulting 2024, and then what your learning was. And so I know you're not a funny lurker. And then I'll accept your request to connect. And then if we could I'll do the cutoff by close of business on Friday, and then I'll announce the winner early next week.
Okay,
and I'll let you all know for transparency's sake.
Let us know.
We'll know that.
Fantastic. So basically what you got to do right now is you got to connect with Kerryn on LinkedIn. You send the code, which will be on your screen now, which is MahalaMonday _ Effect Consulting _ 2024. And what was your takeaway moment, your aha moment, the light bulb moment, the moment that you went, yeah, that whole moment? You say what that is, you know, or just the bit that you have, that moment, and then from all of that, Kerryn will do a draw, and she will get in touch with the winner and announce the winner, of course. But you have until close of business on Friday, which is around the corner. Yeah. Which also, but it's extra time because it's a public holiday in the middle. So it's extra time. It's extra time. That is what you got to do. Thank you so much for offering that, because that will be brilliant. And to the would-be winner, what could they expect?
Okay, so when the winner, when they're announced, I will reach out and ask them if they have had an R3 profile before. If they haven't, I'll ask them if they'd like one, and if they have, or if they can have a leadership coaching session with me. So so how coaching works, Dugald, is, and Rhoda, you have to be clear on your outcome. And I will establish that with the person, so that the hour with me is not just a chit chat. We're going to reach a specific outcome. So it's clear on what you want to achieve, and then I will use different tools and approaches and questions to help to move the person forward to what they want to realize. So coaching is not about me telling you what to do. It is helping a person to self-discover.
Oh wow. So
but having said that, I call what I do having a professional conversation, because sometimes in that space the person does need a bit of input. And I will give it to them if I have experience. I will share how an approach that I've seen that works before. So I do a mentor as well if the need is there. And also just to remind the listeners is that it's not only the personal space. Remember my triangles: financial, leader, team. Yeah. And we'll find out where that challenge is sitting, and we'll talk about it and help you come up with some solutions, you know.
Beautiful.
Through systems thinking, through Ubuntu leadership processes, we'll help you to get there.
All right, so
beautiful.
Exciting. So there you have it. This is cutting edge. This is truly fantastic. What you got to do is you got to get in touch with Kerryn Powell on LinkedIn, and of course that is where you connect with her. You said the code word MahalaMonday _ Effect Consulting _ 2024. Tell her what your takeout moment from today was, from watching the session, from watching this broadcast. Definitely do that. You've just heard from her what this could potentially mean for your business and organizations, where you want to scale it, go to the next level. This is really, really what it is about. Your dreams are now within your grasp. What you've envisioned is now possible. It is now possible.
And then there's a shout out from Lisa Bell. Well done, Kerryn! ! Our go-to for all things leadership and relationship-wise! ! Thank
you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa, for that. That is a brilliant comment.
Thank you, Lisa Bell.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. Thank you so much for all the comments, because many of them have come through, which is absolutely brilliant. And Kerryn, thank you as well, because this was exceptionally insightful. I'm all questioned out, which is a surprise, so I'm not sure if Rhoda's got any.
Same.
If Rhoda's got any more questions.
I think we're longer than we normally do.
Yeah, I do have a little swan song I want to share with everybody. I always have like a little motivational thing at the end, and I just want to encourage everybody listening in today. You know, we live in tough times. and it's only going to get tougher. But the most wonderful thing about human beings is that we become more resilient, and we grow and we develop. So my message is, every day, look for the good, remember to laugh, remember to dance, remember to have fun, and to show up and to give your best. And it's okay when you are off your, you don't feel good. It's okay. And lean into your humanness. We all have our off days. We all have to deal with illness and sadness and things that don't go according to plan. Lean into it. It's part of being human. And the one saying that I always say is just remember, everything is connected. So just be kind, be one of a kind.
Wow, be kind, be one of a kind.
Dr. Kerryn Powell, thank you so much for being on Mahala Monday. I tell you what, only you. Only it can only be you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much for coming on, and we wish you all the best.
Yes.
And we definitely will be talking to you into the not distant future, that I can guarantee you. But it's always a pleasure having you on. Thanks for coming on, and we wish you all the best. Once again, from all of us, the whole team and everybody watching, of course, many, many, many congratulations, and we wish you and your business, Effect Consulting, just all the best, and well done. Thank you very much for coming, Kerryn.
Thank you. And
thank you, guys.
We just got a quick.
To you.
Yeah, there's a quick little comment there. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one.
TD
Liu. And she said, "She is good, everyone. Well done, doctor." What a way to end it off.
Thank you,
Thank you, Kerryn.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kerryn. Thank you once again for joining us. We wish you all the best, and thanks for being on Mahala Monday as always.
Thank you.
Dr. Kerryn Powell, everybody, from Effect Consulting. So there you have it.
Oh, wow.
And this is really the kind of consultant you want in, because she said it there, in terms of the challenges that businesses go through, organizations go through, call the doctor. Now you can really call the business doctor. This is what it's about.
That's what it's about.
You can really call the business doctor. And now she's giving away the session as well. So you got to get into it. We're going to tell you exactly. We got a quick comment there, Oda.
Yeah, that's right. It's from the word architect. Well done, Kerryn. The word architect has grown from a leadership and relationship aspect. Thank you. There we go, Kerryn. Thanks to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that as well. So there you have it. It is as easy and as simple as that. What you got to do is hook up and join Kerryn on LinkedIn. What you do is you send the words on your screen right now, Mahala Monday _Effect Consulting _2024. Tell her what is the take-out moment from today, your aha moment, light bulb moment, whatever you want to call it. You send it through, but do so before the end of business on Friday. Definitely do that. That will be the cutoff. And then Kerryn will do the draw. Then she'll announce the winners, and that's going to be brilliant. And you will get all the stuff that she mentioned as well, which is truly fantastic. And once again, thank you to her for bringing that on board and making that part of the show. That is just thank you.
Thank you so much
for being so kind, Dr. Kerryn Powell.
And that's it to go.
That certainly is. That certainly is it. But most of all, thank you to you for watching. So we kick off a brand new season, and we couldn't have asked for somebody better to do this as well. And this is what we want to bring you. We want to make a change, whether it is to your business, if you're an entrepreneur, your organization, whether it's your personal life, to your community, to society. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. So it is really important for us to pull together. And this is what Mahala Monday is all about. This is what the show is about. So what we want you to do is definitely subscribe. Do us the favor. So subscribe, like, and share this, because together we can reach more and we can bring you amazing content as we always do. So thank you for doing that as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, if there's any businesses, any people out there that's making a difference and actually just want to spread the word and come onto the show, you know what? Feel free to contact us. You can contact us on For Humanity Projects on our email, and also via Nickay Productions as well. So whichever way you want to get in contact with us, please drop us an email or just go onto our website and you'll be able to connect with us, and we'll broadcast you as well.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week this time. There's no longer long haters. You're not going anywhere again,
I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, Dogo.
We'll be so you got to join us next week, Wednesday, Monday again.
Monday.
Back to the future, man.
He's thinking about his Wednesday holidays.
This is where you go on breaks, people. You get days mixed up.
Same time. At
Same
6.
time
See you then.
on Monday. Thanks for watching. Bye. Everybody.